is Joe. These are just opinions. Welcome to the 25 best albums of 1997. I've learned from my mistakes. Let's just jump into this video. Number 25, Dinosaur Jr., Hand It Over. Jay Mascis, again, great songwriter. Album's very consistent the whole way through. Lots of 4 and 5 star tracks. A couple of my favorites, I'm Insane and Never Bought It. Number 24, going with Sarah McLachlan, Surfacing. This is probably your biggest album, and you couldn't go anywhere without some of the tracks showing up, whether it be in a soundtrack or everywhere, really. Adia was a huge track. Building a Mystery, Angel, Sweet Surrender. Number 23 from Marcy Playground. It's Marcy Playground. Folk rock, power pop, skater pop. It's grungy, psychedelic. Marcy Playground, and everybody knows Sex and Candy, huge song. The whole album's actually pretty good. 3.75 stars, just under the 4-star mark for Marcy Playground. Number 22 comes from The MC, that's KRS-One. His album in 97 was I Got Next. Hip hop icon, obviously. Step Into a World, and my favorite track off the album, The MC. Probably my favorite KRS-One track is The MC. Who Am I? The MC. Stepping into 4-star territory for the third album from Elliott Smith, Either Or. Singer-songwriter, sort of slacker, folk rock. Alameda was one of the standout tracks for me. I mean, really, the whole thing's pretty solid the whole way through. If you like the first couple tracks, you're going to like the whole thing. Elliott Smith. Number 20 comes from Erykah Badu. Baduizm. That's a neo-soul, contemporary, vocal jazz, acid jazz. She really came out firing with this album, especially Erykah Badu. This is a big deal. That features On and On, which is just kind of this took the world by storm overnight track. Apple Tree is another incredible song. The A side, especially, or the first half of the record. Erykah Badu, that's another 4-star. Number 19 from Teenage Fan Club, Songs from Northern Britain. Love Mount Everest has always been one of my favorite tracks off this album. That's the 6th album, studio album from Teenage Fan Club. I've got that one at 4 stars. Ain't That Enough? It's another great track off the first side. Jangle pop, power pop. I like this stuff. Some of the noisier stuff I'm not often attracted to, but I've really taken off with Teenage Fan Club. Really like all their albums, actually. The ones I've listened to so far. Number 18, I'm going to give some love to Moondog and his last album while still alive with the London Saxophonic. Moondog, legend. His album this year is Sax Pax for a Sax. Does quite a few of his old tracks. Moondog passed away 2 years later in 99. This definitely wasn't something I was listening to in high school back in 1997. It's something I'll add to the top 25 albums these days. It's something I was listening to in high school. Up next, Wu-Tang Clan with their 97 album Wu-Tang Forever. Excellent album. I actually prefer this over 36 Chambers. Get Triumph, one of my favorite Wu-Tang tracks. Pretty much the whole thing rocks. The whole thing front to back is amazing. Wu-Tang Clan, one of the greatest rap groups of all time. And, lots of crossover albums have already happened at this point. Liquid Swords is already featured on this channel. And, everybody's been out and about doing their thing. This album came out. This is a pretty big deal. People were pretty stoked, especially back in high school for this one. Up next, number 16, Super Furry Animals, or their album, Radiator. This is a Britpop, glam pop, sort of psychedelic art rock group. We're kind of all over the map, kind of like how I like them when it comes to groups. I just love groups that sort of expand in every direction. Super Furry Animals certainly does that. I do believe they get even stronger as they kind of go. Super Furry Animals, Radiator at number 16. Number 15 comes from Canadian rock group Big Wreck, and their album from 1997, their breakout album, was In Loving Memory Of. I got that one at 4 stars. Certainly listen to this one a whole bunch. If you want some post-grunge, hard rock, big guitars, look no further than Ian Thornley led Big Wreck. Brian Doherty, David Henning, Forrest Williams. Big Wreck is a kick-ass Canadian rock band, and to this day still touring and putting out great music. Great writers, hard rock. They will be featured on the songs list for 1997 as well. There's lots to choose from. We'll get more into that on the songs episode coming up next. Number 14 comes from Alison Krauss and Union Station, going with So Long, So Wrong. What a killer. It's progressive bluegrass, beautiful stuff. So, like, production on this one's incredible. And Alison Krauss, just flawless singer. Cannot go wrong. This is a great album. Number 13, we're going with 9 Lives from Aerosmith. I own this album. I actually I listened to this album a fair bit. I was definitely an Aerosmith fan growing up. There's 3 Aerosmith episodes on this channel. I find Steven Tyler and Joe Perry's relationship is a really interesting one. And I kind of like their public fights and stuff like that. This album had some good tracks on it. You know, they moved in a different sort of almost poppier direction, more pop driven direction with later 90s stuff. It's the first album since Get a Grip, I believe, kind of more down that vein, right? Even more, almost a little too far to the pop stuff. Hold My Soul is a great song. Falling in Love's Hard on the Knees. Taste of India is a good song. Pink was a big hit. And Joe Perry still kills on guitar. The group Aerosmith still kills. They're good. One of the greatest American bands of all time. 4.25 star territory. Going with the Buena Vista Social Club. Self-titled. If you've never seen the documentary, it's certainly worth a watch. It's great. If you love music, you'll end up loving this album by watching that documentary. Very consistent the whole way through. When something goes international like this, I love it. The kids these days won't know because they didn't watch the show, but for those who did, you probably own this album. Cuban music. Son Cubana. Up next, a bit of a surprise for me, Pavement, their album Brighten the Corners. Once again, slacker rock, neo-psychedelia, J versus S, Transport has arrived, We Are Underused, Stereo. This album's chock full of them. Wow, great album. Up next with his, 25th album, Bob Dylan, Time Out of Mind. This is sort of a weird thing. I was in high school and all of a sudden people were getting into Bob Dylan. I wasn't wise to Bob Dylan until this point, and I still wasn't really the biggest Bob Dylan fan until many years later. I guess the point when I knew that Bob Dylan was even still alive, I think. I just wasn't wise to Bob Dylan at all. You know, once you kind of get into liking Bob Dylan, things sort of change. I don't have the most popular opinion on which Dylan albums are great and which aren't. I got this one at 4.25 stars. I think it's in the great category. Time Out of Mind, what a stripped down great album from Bob Dylan. Up next, I'm pretty sure the current champion of my channel for these annual top 25 lists, going Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds again, The Boatman's Call. I'm pretty sure they've been on at least 4 episodes now. Boatman's Call features People Ain't No Good, Into My Arms. I love The Idiot Prayer. I love The Boatman's Call. Great album from Nick Cave. Obviously think of my brother Mark from Live Jimmy Presley. Respect for getting me into this guy. And Bob Dylan, really. Up next, from The Verve, Urban Hymns. Britpop, neo-psychedelia. Verve again have been featured every album so far. I think this is their 3rd album. Is this their best album? Maybe. Yeah, probably. It's definitely got the biggest hits. It's got quite a few of them. Bittersweet Symphony, Sonnet, The Drugs Don't Work, Lucky Man. I remember hearing a cover from Ben Harper of The Drugs Don't Work first. It's like, wow. That made me like Ben Harper way more. The Verve, their version, one of the best songs going for the Verve. Love Sonnet. Sonnet was my favorite Verve song for a long time. Bittersweet Symphony is just so infectious. I know they stole that Rolling Stones lick, or sample. Next up, 4.25 stars for BC's own, British Columbia's own Matthew Goodband. I think he's from Vancouver. I'm pretty sure he's from BC. The album is Underdogs from the Matthew Good Band, from Matthew Good Band. Matthew Good Band put out 5 albums, and this is their smack dead in the middle, and this is smack dead their very best album, Underdogs. Matthew Good, famous for being really obnoxious, hard to deal with person, and that's just the truth. He acknowledges it in some of his videos. I've heard all kinds of horror stories. A friend of mine turned me on to Matthew Good Band from the lyrics. Had a lot of really big songs on it: Indestructible, Rico, Middle Class Gangsters, Apparitions, Everything Is Automatic. This album kills. Great rock album, alternative rock, power pop, excellent. Still listen to this one to this day. You couldn't escape it. It was on like Much Music constantly, Apparitions especially. Yeah, huge video. Everything Is Automatic was the first single, positive of that. Rico is my favorite for a while. I'm pretty sure Middle Class Gangsters. Number 6, Another Canadian band, Our Lady Peace, and their album from 97 is Clumsy. So Our Lady Peace, another Canadian band, really popular in Canada, especially. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure they made it a little bit in the United States. Clumsy. Jeremy Taggart is the drummer from Our Lady Peace. And when I was younger, it was debatable. He was the best drummer in Canada. Rain Maida, lead vocals. His voice is kind of a take it or leave it thing. Like many Canadian bands, I find that with especially the Tragically Hip, Rush, of course, Neil Young, even Joni Mitchell, distinctive voices. This album has some really great songs, songwriting. Superman's Dead, Automatic Flowers, 4 a.m., and Clumsy are some standouts, and it got major radio play here where I'm from on Vancouver Island for show. All right, 4.5-star territory. So there's 5 albums left, right? 5 albums left. Number 5. All 5 of these are really incredible albums. So number 5 comes from Daft Punk, and it's Homework, 1997. French house music, techno, house, whatever you want to call it. This is the Dark Side of Moon. Dark Side of the Moon for electronic music is probably Homework, or maybe the next one. But this is a big deal. Nothing had come out as complete. The Chemical Brothers did some cool stuff. There's been some cool albums, obviously electronic albums, but as far as an entire album of house music that took over the world, this is it. This is the biggest one that ever did it. They followed up with other incredible ones that also did it, and other people started joining and doing it. Groundbreaking album, Daft Punk, Homework. Thomas Bangalter, D. Manuel, De Homan, Christo, the Chevaliers from France. They were knighted in France. For me, it was a music video for Around the World. I remember one of my all-time favorite music videos. I enjoy the album way more than the music videos just because they have the extended versions of each of the songs, and I like that. And it doesn't really lose too much focus. It doesn't just zonk out and become kind of boring, which was sort of my problem with a lot of the electronic music before this. I really liked like the future sound of London, that sort of thing, but I felt that it kind of went a little too trancy or a little too spaced out right from the start. Revolution, 909, Daft and Direct, let's hold back 2 at a time, come on. Around the World, Rolling and Scratching, Phoenix, Defunk, Rock and Roll, Burning. I really used to love Burning. Like, just wait, the scratching will stop. Daft Punk episode on his channel too. Check it out. Number 4 from 1997, going with Ben Folds 5, Whatever and Ever, Amen. I've also got it at 4.5 stars. I'm a big Ben Folds 5 fan. This is their second of 4 albums, and they did a 3 in a row, and then they kind of got back together and put out an album. This is the album that got me into Ben Folds 5. One Angry Dwarf, 200 Solemn Faces Are You. Brick was the big radio song. I was never crazy about that song. A Song for the Dumped I liked. Give me my money back, give me back my black t-shirt. Selfless, Cold and Composed. Kate's a real standout for me. Smoke, Cigarette. Steven's Last Night in Town, one for me. Had a buddy named Steven come to town. I was into the song at the time. Battle of Who Could Care Less, great lyrics. Missing the War, Evaporated. I used to have the live video for Ben Folds 5. Like I said, they're on the channel as well. It's a 3-piece with Ben Folds. They broke up after their next album, and it sucked because they put out 3 solid albums, high-ranking albums on my list in a row. So Ben Folds 5. My wife cannot stand Ben Folds 5. Number 3, I go into 5-star territory. First up, Hellbugnish, Ween, their masterpiece in 1997. The Mollusk, cover art done by Storm Thorgerson of Dark Side of the Moon fame, Pink Floyd fame, incredible album cover. A Nautical, Dean Ween's really big into fishing. I have an episode on this album on this channel. I'm a huge Ween fan. This is arguably their greatest album. I don't know if I could rank the albums really. Full of songs I absolutely love. This album inspired SpongeBob SquarePants. Without this album, there'd be no SpongeBob SquarePants. Look it up. From New Hope, Pennsylvania's Ween. This album features The Mollusk, Polka Dot Tail, I'll Be Your Johnny on the Spot, Mutilated Lips, Blarney Stone, The Golden Eel, probably my favorite track, Cold Blows the Wind, Pink Eye on My Leg, Waving My Dick in the Wind, Buckingham Green, Ocean Man, and She Wanted to Leave, another one of my favorite tracks. All very pirate nautical themed, excellent recording from the Insane Minds that is Ween. Hail Bugnish. Number 2, the final album from the Notorious B.I.G., Life After Death. Big double album. Was it a triple album? It was a big album. I can't remember. For some reason, I feel like it came with 3 CDs. It was definitely in a big CD case. I probably have it somewhere. I can probably go grab it. I definitely have it on wax. Greatest flow in the history of rap, the Notorious B.I.G. Greatest storyteller. And that's kind of important in rap. This album features Somebody's Got to Die. If I go, you got to go. Hypnotize. Kicking the door, waving the 4-4. Last day, gonna live to my last day. What's beef? Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. Mo money, mo problems. One of the best verses from Biggie. I love it in Mo Money, Mo Problems. BIGPOPPA. Going, back to Cali, Cali. The 10 Crack Commandments. Come on. Premieres on that. Rest in peace, Big Papa. Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G. Once again, the greatest flow in rap history. He's on my Rushmore. It's sort of a non-debatable. He is on my Rushmore. Biggie is the first face on my Rushmore for rappers. But number one for 97 comes from Radiohead, and it's OK Computer. OK Computer from 1997. At the time, they used to say Sgt. Pepper's was the greatest album of all time back then. Remember that? That's before they replaced it with Abbey Road and Revolver. This album shot up to number one album of all time on many charts. Maybe the greatest album of the 90s. It's in contention. You know, with the Benz was flawless, and this is like cut above. Like this is, you know, Pink Floyd prime territory for kind of the psychedelic space rock, alt rock. Is one of my favorite albums ever. Crankiness album for months and months and months and months. So it came out in June of 1997. Music videos: Airbag, Paranoid Android, Subterranean, Homesick Alien, Exit Music, Let Down, Karma Police, No Surprises, Lucky, Tourist from Radiohead. One of the best bands of all time, and certainly one of the best bands of the last 30 years. And apparently they're doing something this year. Apparently 2025 is a tour or a new album coming out. Can't wait. Still haven't seen Radiohead. I've got 3 other episodes on Radiohead on this channel, and I've got episodes on Notorious B.I.G. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Playlist below in the comments and on the channel for top 100 songs from 1997. You know, be normal, live and let live, be nice to people. Talk to me in the comments. It's all fun. It's about movies and music and just fun shit. I'm sorry I'm a little low on facts and high on opinions. Respect to Radiohead and all the other wicked music from 1997. We out.